Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today something fell off my my shelves over here. And today I've got another short little unboxing video to share with you guys. So we have 2 additional Kaiser folding knives, and then this is the biggest single box that I've ever received from Kizer. I have no idea what it is. Very excited to see what kind of crazy knife is in there. I will link everything down in the description. These are all new models. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you. Thanks to Kizer for sending this in. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me, and make sure your notifications are turned on for the Metal Complex YouTube channel. So we are going to open this, but I think it makes sense to save that for the end, whatever it is, right? Kizer's had some good, we've had some more Kizer positivity here. The last couple of videos I've done for Kizer have been far more positive. So that's nice. They've had multiple, not just button operated compression locks or whatever Kizer calls that, top liner lock, but also their plunge lock and their mithril stood up to some light taps, which is good because previously their stuff wasn't. So I'm happy with that. We have another version of the Drop Bear, and then we have something called the Madrack in S45VN. Let's find out what the Drop Bear is. I mean, I've handled a lot of different versions of the Drop Bear. It's a good knife. Is this going to glow? I mean, that's fine. I'm always into the glowy stuff, right? We'll take a look here. So we have Drop Bear crossbar lock. The Drop Bear is definitely, depending on which variation you pick up, it's one of the best budget knives that you can pick up. I like their top liner lock or compression Kizer whatever lock version of it. It's kind of confusing because the base lock, what they call it, makes it seem like it's not as impressive as it is or should be, and it sort of lumps it in with a lot of different... They really need to come up with a specific name for that. That's like a standout name, right? So it's easier for us to refer to it. But I'm going to guess that these scales glow. So let's get out the old purpley thing. Do they glow? Oh, they do. Yes. Oh, do they glow? Do they glow a fancy fun color? Oh, hold on now. Boop. It's blue! It glows blue! That's awesome! Okay, do I have something up here that will glow green for contrast? No. This, so it looks like it's glowing that... Okay, so I just want to get this to where everybody can see it. This is a much more of a blue glow. I mean, I have a laser on this that is like the same green as you would see on like the glowy stuff. So you can see here that this has... that same kind of color that you would see in like, okay, so like some of the Formex Reef, I think glows blue, that watch, whereas most of the Super Luminova that we see on dive watches is like a green. This is like a blue glow, so that's super cool. I like that. That's different enough that it makes it fun, and the glow is pretty intense too. That is awesome. I would love to see more of this from various... companies making pocket knives, whatever this is. Super cool. I love it. I think that's really awesome. So nice deal there with the new Drop Bear. Let's find out what they're going to want for this. So $69. Okay, fine. That's fine. It's not an incredibly impressive price tag, but it's okay. Nitro V. Yeah, it's kind of like, par for the course there for pricing. This one here, the Madrack, appears to be a more premium knife. What else? We have Fat Carbon and S45VN with matte DLC Ultra. So this is a DLC, but it's a matte DLC, which really is not like better or worse than satin. It's just preference. So, oh, we do have a button. We got another button here. Okay, Madrack coming into that melted American flag carbon fiber lock bar tension. Also on the heavier side. I don't know. I don't want to sit here and say, oh, Kizer's increasing their lock bar tension because I said they should. Maybe. Or maybe they just are. Maybe that's like part of the plan, right? I'm not going to sit here and say that. I'm just going to say, I trust, whenever I feel the tension right here, there's more tension pushing that lock bar over into the lock face. And in this case, with Kizer, it's going to be up behind, once again, behind that stop pin, compressing itself between the stop pin and the lock face. Whenever I feel more tension, right? There's other elements that go into a good lock setup, but that's usually a green flag for me. There's more force that's pushing the lock into place. It's not always perfect. It doesn't always mean that the lock's going to survive, right? At least my, test. I trust this enough. I'm going to do it without gloves. Yeah, so I did all of them right here. All of them. Pretty heavy, too. Didn't even really start out light. This is good. This is another W. Kaiser, if this, there's always going to be people going, maybe they just sent you a good one. Maybe. But if they're increasing this, I would like to assume that they are increasing lock bar tension across the board and maybe also paying attention to a lot of other elements that are involved with proper lockup that are behind the scenes and that I'm not even aware of. Whatever it is, great. Pay attention to how these things lock up. These types of locking systems should absolutely be stronger, more durable, safer, more reliable than a liner lock or frame lock, a plunge lock, right? This is the reason that I push for locks like these, because they typically, the way that they are made is better, right? The nature of the locking system itself is better. We just need to make sure that all of the steps are being taken to ensure safety, strength, reliability, all of that stuff, right? A-tier locking system, right? If your S-tier locking systems are Triad, Scorpion, Shark Lock, and Atlas Lock, if those are S-tier locking systems, the compression lock, or whatever Kaiser's version of the compression lock is, I would call that an A-tier locking system, right? At some point, we'll probably have to redo that tier list for locking systems. But yeah, this is cool. This is nice. I like it. Obviously, the profile isn't anything new or special, but it's another budget option. Well, it's not a budget. I bet they have budget versions of this knife, but this is actually a more expensive. It's gonna be a more expensive knife, given the materials here. But I bet you on this piece of paper we see other variations of this knife that cost less. Okay, so the version we're looking at here, that's a little pricey. $169. It's not bad. It's just like you look at like the American Bel Air from Kershaw, and it's like the same price. $129 if you just want micarta and S35VN. Apparently, it doesn't actually say, but like I would assume at that price. But then we also have this is a June 1st release. Okay, so are all of these? No, we have see, there you go, 14C 28N, and this one comes in at $69, which is that same kind of competitive price tag. And you can get this. I don't know what the heck material this is. Oh my gosh. Dragon Ball Z Energy Wave material. 74, just barely make it into budget territory. And then you have an AEBL version as well for $69. Kaiser's next thing that they should focus on, of course, is HRC. They are fully capable of making a nice product that is safe and reliable and has a good locking system. They are also fully capable of hitting optimal HRC numbers between all of these steels, right? Now, some of their steels are, not offenders at all or lower offenders, and some of the way that they've been heat treating some of their steels is just like outrageously low. So getting consistency going with their various steels is another way to, kind of get up to the standards, or what should be the standards of the community here. So, but these are both cool. These are cool releases from Kizer. I like these. We got to find out what the heck is in here. The box is covering the screen. I'm hoping that the knife, whatever it is, if we can call it that. As far as I know, there might be a rocket launcher in here. Oh boy. Oh, it's an axe. Okay, all right, there we go. Kizer axe, $10.95, $119. A little camp hatchet. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm probably gonna keep this. I don't have a dedicated tool hatchet, but what I do have is a bunch of freaking obnoxious weed trees that grow behind my retainment wall, and I think this would be just about perfect for cutting them down. It's kind of a crappy deal because I have to get back there behind the retainment wall, but in between the retainment wall there's a property fence that's made out of barbed wire, and I only have like 5 or 6 feet. But these trees grow in a line right behind that retainment wall, and I got to go back there every now and then, and I got to chop them down. I've tried various ways of killing them. They always seem to come back like every couple of years. But something like this, previously I had used, it was like a big, wide chopping blade from Midgard's Messer, and that worked okay. But I have a feeling this would work a little bit better. I'm not sure why. I mean, it's a 1095 hatchet with some cool, honestly, like the weight and everything feels pretty good. I'm not like a hatchet reviewer, right? It just, my natural caveman human, it feels like I could swing this and cut a tree down, or not a big tree, but a little tree. The diameter, or not I'm brain farting here. Circumference diameter, the way around, right, of the trunk of this weed tree is roughly this. It's like a $50, maybe something like that, up to like a silver dollar. Everybody's gonna make fun of me for not knowing the difference. I'm trying to proceed with the upload and leave that embarrassing quote behind. But that's what I'm getting through there at maximum. So that this type of thing I feel like is pretty optimized with it being 1095 and such a short continuous edge to maintain and sharpen up. I think that'd be pretty ideal. 1095 is one of those steels that actually does benefit from a lower HRC versus a pocket knife because it's typically used in heavier camp tools, right? I mean, you look at something like a sword, and a lot of swords with spring steel will be hardened much. So a lot of times swords, that's a totally different thing. I don't want to open up that can of words, right? But worms, sometimes you'll have your 1075 or 10, I don't know, one of those carbon steels, and they'll have it way down at 53, 54, which actually is what you want. And then some other times you'll have cladding, so you'll have the edge of the sword out at 60, and then you'll have the cladding at 53, 54, 55, right? 1095 on a tool like this oftentimes is only heat treated to 57 or so. You don't want it incredibly hard. You don't want it chipping. It just depends. Sometimes lower hardness with certain compositions can result in chipping, and sometimes massive hardness in some of these steels can result in chipping. So there is absolutely a sweet spot, and it depends on what the steel is, what the composition is, and what it's going to be used for, and whether or not what it's going to be used for is within the normal parameters or within if it's outside those parameters and dipping into abuse territory. So I feel like Kizer should be plenty capable of getting something like 1095 within the right HRC parameters there. So this is pretty cool. Actually, I think all of these are nice. I think maybe the price on the hatchet seems a little high, but fine. Pretty cool stuff here. Thanks so much to Kizer. I will legitimately use the hatchet, and we'll carry these two. Well, this one doesn't need carried. We'll do this one for review just because it's a different model there, but we'll carry that one casually for review. That's going to be it today, guys. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.